Our awards ceremony is probably the most special thing that the Brooklyn Arts Council does every year. I'm Ella Weiss. I have the good fortune to be president of the Brooklyn Arts Council, and we have been providing grants for cultural and arts projects in Brooklyn for over 30 years. And you'll have more to applaud about later. A lot has changed during that time, as those of us who've been here, I've been here all my life, as you probably can tell just listening to me. Our borough has grown. Our diversity has expanded exponentially, and our cultural fabric is stronger than ever. These days, Brooklyn is arguably the center of the arts in New York City. Do you agree? Yes. It is certainly a center for emerging artists, and increasingly for some of the world's most accomplished artists and cultural organizations as well. We hope that all of you here in this room go on to this level of fame and fortune, but we know that many of you may not. Certainly, you won't get rich through BAC grants. But lest you be discouraged, please remember that public acclaim is not the measure of your worth. Although our society does not always give artists the credits or compensation they deserve, we know that you all play incredibly valuable roles in your communities. You are our tradition bearers. Your work bridges cultural divides and brings together diverse groups in dynamic ways. You give meaning to lives young and old. You help us walk through grief and loss, and you give voice to our greatest joys. You give us new insight into the world around us, speaking to each of us differently in a language only we can understand. Whether you are doing this work on a grand stage or in a community center in Gravesend, your work matters. So for all of us at BAC, it's an honor to be here with you tonight. It is a privilege. We are so lucky to work with you and other artists every day, and so grateful to have this opportunity to help support your work and to publicly recognize all that you do. Thank you for giving us this gift. Thank you for your work, and please keep going. Brooklyn needs you. I have a great pleasure tonight. It's the first time in his tenure as borough president that I'm going to have the opportunity to introduce an extraordinary man. After he was elected, even before he took office, he convened task force on 20 pillars of issues that are of utmost importance to our borough. And one of those issues was arts and culture. He knows how important what you do is. And we at BAC were very, very humbled to co-chair with Arnold Lehman at the Brooklyn Museum his task force on arts and culture. We know that he has a lot of work to do. We know that he is ready and not only able, but raring to go. And we know that we will all help him, certainly in the arts and culture field, to get everything done that's possible to make Brooklyn even more the center of arts, stronger in every community, in every part of this borough, with nobody left underserved. So I ask you to help me welcome our new wonderful borough president, Eric Adams.
Thank you, Ella, and the great things that you are doing here in the borough of Brooklyn and around the artistic community. I want to thank Dr. Thomas, the chairman of the board of Brooklyn Arts Council, Deputy Commissioner Margaret Morton, the Department of Cultural Affairs, and Lisa Robb, who I was hanging out sitting next to. There's a small window of opportunity that you are going to have as artists. As your borough president, you need to know that I am a closet flower child. And the art means so much more to me. And I say it over and over again. often elected officials will use the things that artists bring as an opportunity to go to a ribbon cutting or to have a nice photo op. But I see it in a different proportion from my life as a police officer and what art can do to so many people. I say this over and over as I move around and talk to artists. You eat healthy to nourish your physical presence, but art nourishes the anatomy of your spirit. It makes you a better human being than countless number of Brooklynites dealing with artistic obesity because they don't have a healthy diet on art and what art can do. It develops your full personhood, and it snatches away those barriers that we create that prevent us from interacting and celebrating diversity and the beauty that the borough has to offer. It has its own language, and it resonates in our souls in a deep place and allows us to enjoy why we are members of the greatest race alive, and that's the human race. It's a great experience. We are in a good place. We're in a good place, but you have a mandate. If we allow this experience we call art to stay relegated to the geographical boundaries of the BAM cultural district or small areas of this borough, then we failed. Everyone needs to hear about you. We need to allow Brownsville and East New York to enjoy the experience of art, and Bay Ridge and Dyker Heights. We have artists there. We have songwriters and singers and poets. And then we have to open our walls and halls. This borough cannot no longer be a place where men hang on the wall that are not reflective of the diversity of this borough. We should have art all over this place. Let me tell you what I've learned. There is more than one way to say you are welcome to enter. Nothing is more inviting than a person of Asian descent to walk into this building and see Asian art. Nothing is more willing to say that you are allowed to be here than an African from the diaspora to see African art, or someone from Ireland seeing a great artist's portrait of Irish descent. This borough has 47% of the people of this borough speak a language other than English at home. That's an astonishing number. That's a canvas that we can start the process of really painting this borough the way the entire city will have to follow. Brooklyn is not the center of the artist culture. Brooklyn is the center of the universe, and we're going to make it happen. So we're going to do some good things. You have an advocate here in Borough Hall. And I want you to hold your events here. Utilize this place as a place that you can come and invite people in so they can enjoy art. What BAC is doing is amazing. They have continued to do it during the difficult years. 30 years ago, remember what this borough and this city looked like. It was through art. It was the artists that went to Dumbo for the first time and saw the possibilities there. Then once you built it up, they threw you out. It was the artists that went to Crown Heights and Prospect Heights and Bedford-Stuyvesant. Now I say to you, let's find new territories and do it a different way. Let's go to those areas that people find undesirable and do what you do best. Say no matter what the place looks like, no matter what the surrounding is about, if you bring art, you can change your community. We're going to change this borough through art. And I know we can accomplish that. We can do it together. And as your borough president, I'm going to make it happen. Brooklyn is the baddest borough in the baddest city on the baddest planet. So I got to be the baddest borough president going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for affirming what we are all about, because I know that those of you sitting here come from all of those neighborhoods, all over this borough. So we are thrilled, Borough President Adams, and we will work with you all the way. We're going to start with art. I mean, that's what we're here for. And funded through the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Community Arts Award Fund is a very special group of youngsters, Blue-Eyed Blues. They're a blues education program from Bedford-Stuyvesant, and tonight's band features Sierra Fisher, Toshana Jackson, Kayla Morris, and Jasmine Pearson. They're led by music instructor Greg Albert and vocalist Baritha Reddy. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Big Eyed Blues Youth Ensemble.
Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. When you see me worry, baby, it's you I hate to lose. Well, nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Well, nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Bad luck and trouble, you know I had my share. Every day I had the blues. 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 When you see me worry, baby, it's you I hate to lose. Every day I had the blues. 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 When you see me worry, baby, it's you I hate to lose. I'm gonna pack my suitcase, ease on down the line. I'm gonna pack my suitcase, ease on down the line. Well, ain't nobody worry and ain't nobody cry. Every day I had the blues. 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 When you see me worry, baby, it's you I hate to lose. Blues ain't nothing but jazz. Yeah, blues ain't nothing but jazz. 1, 3, 5, 7, the bluest jazz I've ever had. I said blues ain't nothing but jazz. Yeah, blues ain't nothing but jazz. 1, 3, 5, 7, the bluest jazz I've ever had. I said blues, jazz, Jazz, blues, jazz possess. 1, 3, 5, 7, the bluest jazz I've ever had.
Let's hear it for the Blue-Eyed Blues Youth Ensemble. Aren't they fabulous? Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, that is our future. Right there. Right there. We're here tonight because there are entities in our city and our state that understand what you do and are committed to it. We not only appreciate what they do for us, but we are beholden to them to help carry the torch. And in the state, we have an advocate who fights hard, tirelessly, endlessly, it must seem, to make sure that the arts are funded in New York State and, of course, in Brooklyn. So, with us tonight is the person who does all that, who makes this program possible as well as so many others, our tireless leader at the New York State Council on the Arts, Executive Director Lisa Robb.
Thank you all. Well, first of all, Irish American reporting for duty. Thank you, Borough President. Second of all, this is the baddest borough, and these are the baddest girls, and they do the baddest blues, and that is for sure. What a fantastic job they did for us tonight. You know, it's always nice to be welcome to these and have people like Ella. We thank, of course, Brooklyn Arts Council for stewarding your money, and it's always nice to be thanked for coming and treated in such a beautiful way. But remember, we're distributing your money back to you. So thank you for paying your taxes so we can take that money and distribute it in a way that we think makes the world a more safe, beautiful, passionate, happy, and economically viable place. And so really the thanks are always to you for doing your jobs at being good citizens. So certainly we thank the other politicians, the electeds, and the appointed people that are here that helped shepherd these tax dollars to activities that we here today can really support and see the value of. And I certainly thank the Brooklyn Arts Council for doing a tremendously good job at running the many, many panels that they need to, engaging peers to review all these applications to make sure the money is distributed in a non-biased, open, transparent way. And mostly, of course, I thank you, the winners of these grants awards today, for the work you do to provide the citizens and visitors to Brooklyn the good experiences that you do, either at the very local community level, at the borough level, at the citywide level, and certainly at the national and international level, because Brooklyn really is on the map now as a center of artistic practice, seeing the rejuvenation that the arts can provide economically, socially, making safe streets. I didn't know you were an ex-police officer, because there are such strong correlations between arts and cultural and heritage activities making the neighborhood safer, cleaner, and more hospitable to live in. So thank you all for all that you do, and again, thank you to the Brooklyn Arts Council for doing this work for us, doing your work with your money. Have a good night.
Thank you, Lisa. We're going to be giving out 58 grants from the New York State Council on the Arts tonight, totaling over $93,000. I did mention we had another partner, and we do. We have the state, and then, of course, we have the City of New York. And as a borough in the City of New York, we are doubly lucky, because we not only can get grant money from the state, but we also can get it from the city. The Department of Cultural Affairs has always been an advocate for local artists and arts organizations, and they also have some of the same challenges. working hard and tirelessly to make sure that it's in the budget, that the arts are supported, that there is enough money. Well, there's not ever enough. There's not ever enough. But we know they get the most they can. And we are so grateful for all that they do, and particularly to Margaret Morton, who's the Deputy Commissioner of the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, who really has become not only an advocate for Brooklyn and the city, but a personal friend to the Brooklyn Arts Council. She's always there when we need her. If we have a question, we have a problem, Margaret's always on the case. So we can't tell you how grateful we are, and so please help me thank her and welcome Margaret Morton.
Hello, everyone, and congratulations to all the artists and the small arts organizations, the emerging artists. It's a delight to be here with our Borough President, Borough President Adams, with my colleague Lisa, who I spend a lot of time talking to and not enough time seeing, to Chairman Shute. As Ella said, I work for the agency that funds the city. All of the cultural nonprofits in the city. We have a very wide reach, but it is a wonderful joy of a job, because the arts and culture really is part of, it's a very, very vital part of the economy of this city and of the character of this city. We know that in 2013 there were 26 million cultural tourists that came just for culture. We know that the arts leverage about $8 billion to our economy. As Ella noted, I spend a lot of time in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn, I have to say, undoubtedly is really the cultural capital of this city. Between the tech industry and the working artists that are here, the small arts organizations that are here, the people doing crafts and makers work that are here, we know at the Department of Cultural Affairs that Brooklyn really has become central to culture in our city. And so it's a delight to be here. I want to inspire you. I have to say my job can be very hard. We've just announced a preliminary budget, and I'm happy to say that our mayor helped to preserve $148 million as an initial budget for our agency. Again, that's preliminary, but it is what we call baselining. I mention that budget because it's the start of a process. We want to, as Ella said, get as much as we can for our budget, so that people like Ella, who do really ground level work with artists directly, can have enough solid support to support you directly. A few things that I just want to mention to you. The Mayor de Blasio is committed to children, among other things that, as you know, and the education of children and targeting middle schools. We will be hosting our agency in a few weeks an expanded program for after-school programming, and we are making sure that arts organizations are providers that will have access to expanded money for after-school, out-of-school time programs. For those of you who do work for nonprofit culturals, you will know that. And so take a look at our website. April 1st, we're working with the Department of Youth and Cultural Development to announce that. We have, with the Borough President's support, with our council member support, we have tried to target different areas and services for artists. We have a couple of in the works projects, one at the Williamsburg Public Library, one at the Red Hook Public Library. We're working with an organization called Spaceworks to create affordable artist space. And those projects are in the works and will be opening within the next year, but it's just, again, something to look out for. We are delighted that Weeksville will be opening in this spring to start small programs, and then in the fall we'll be working on larger programs, and that is very much thanks to partnership with the Borough President Adams, and we're looking forward to that. So lots going on in Brooklyn. We are thankful to Brooklyn's artistry. It gives us inspiration, and it helps us keep going in ensuring that we give as much to the arts as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. And just to give a little perspective to what Margaret was talking about, we will be giving out 107 grants through the Department of Cultural Affairs funding, totaling $201,000. So, Margaret mentioned SpaceWorks. We partner with SpaceWorks, and a lot of their information is on our website and has been on our website. Whenever they have an open house or an RFP or an application, you can find it on our website. We're thrilled to work with them. It's very exciting that they are opening these spaces in Brooklyn, and thank you for mentioning it. Yes, exactly right. People have been talking about the Brooklyn Arts Council, and we thank you for the accolades that you've given us. But we, as an organization, have many components. We have the people we serve, our constituents. We have the most incredible staff that I've ever worked with. And I think you can tell by maybe a little bit of my gray hair that I am up there in age, but I've never, ever worked with a staff like the Brooklyn Arts Council staff. They are unbelievably passionate and dedicated to what they do. Now, with all of that, we have another cohort that moves us along in directions that might be new and that helps us to formulate our future. We have a board of directors that is very committed and dedicated. They're active. They come to meetings. They give money. They do all the things that board members are supposed to do. And they love the arts. So how does that all happen? How do you have a group of people? How are we so lucky to have a board like that? We're lucky because as the chair of our board is somebody very, very special. He's been a leader in the arts for many years, and many of you know him as the president of Pratt Institute. But tonight, we thank him and ask him to come and say a few words because he is our tireless leader, the chair of the Brooklyn Arts Council Board, Dr. Thomas Schutte.
Thank you, Ella. It's great to be here, and Ella has already given you a few words about what it is that the Board of Directors accomplished for the Brooklyn Arts Council. The Brooklyn Arts Council has a very small staff, and as Ella said, they work extremely hard. And we, as a board of directors, represent 17 souls that give our, I was going to say, life to the Brooklyn Arts Council. None of us get paid. We work free of charge, and we are so committed to the arts in Brooklyn. And we are so committed to helping raise funds for the Brooklyn Arts Council because, as Ella indicated, and as you've heard earlier, that the money that we raise goes back into the hands of artists and arts organizations and cultural organizations in Brooklyn. What I'd like to do is, just so that you can see that we are real people, I'd like to just mention the directors that are here tonight. Peter Eskenazi is our vice chairman of the board. He's worked with us tirelessly for many years. Teresa Schreiber is here. Teresa, stand up. And we also have Carl Self, Carl, Michael Armstrong, Sidney Jean, and Jack Esterson. And again, I'd like to thank all of you for being here this evening. Oh, Fraser Holloway, Fraser. There's Fraser, stand up. And I'd like to congratulate and really thank all of our award recipients tonight. We're very, very proud of you. We're very proud of the fact that we could muster together, with the help of so many different forces, the funding in order to be able to afford to give you this recognition that you need so badly. And again, we are so committed to the arts in Brooklyn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Schutte. Magnolia is a Georgian women's trio. They're recipients tonight through the Dancing Crane Music Ensemble of a New York State Council on the Arts Award. They will also be seen as part of our Sweetest Song Festival, which will be in the spring, starting at the end of April. Tonight, Magnolia will be singing for us 2 Georgian folk songs. The singers are, and you'll forgive me because I know I'm not going to get it all right, but I've been practicing. Zihara Bukarawivili, Zara Kokachelli, Manana Chitara Ori. Please welcome Magnolia. That I can say. Thank you.
სოფელი თანდათან უფრო ბრინდება რა არის ჩვენი სიცოცხლე ჩიტივით გაგვიფრინდება რა არის ჩვენი სიცოცხლე ჩიტივით გაგვიფრინდება ჩვენს ნასახლარზე ოდესღაც ბალახიაბი ბინდება რა არის ჩვენი სიცოცხლე ჩიტივით გაგვიფრინდება ჩვენს ნასახლარზე ოდესღაც ბალახიაბი ბინდება იმასაც მოკლედ უვლია ვინც გრძლად ეგონა იარა შუქს ბნელი შაშამს ვარჯია კაცის გულს დარდიარა მოვა სიკვდილი უჩინოთ ერთ წამში აკვრის იარაღს ჩვენს ნასახლარს ქვეყნად სხვას რაც აუღიარა მოვა სიკვდილი უჩინო ერთ წამში აკვრის იარაღს ჩვენ რას წავიღებთ იმ ქვეყნად სხვას რაც აუღიარა centuis anates davas clave bicimcimes centuis ames alublis todas ecates tu vin me gigavas tu vin me sedrepi Daginda zecის ხელით შევლება სულში ჩადგება სინათლის სვეტი შავი ზღვა თეთრად მოგეჩვენება თუ ვინმე გიღვარს თუ ვინმე სედრები შავი ზღვა თეთრად მოგეჩვენება თუ ვინმე გიღვარს თუ ვინმე სედრები მერცხლებს გაიხდი გულის ჩევლებად ის სახარახარა რაც გუშინ იყავ ეგალი ვარდად მოგეჩვენება თუ ვინმე გიღვარს თუ ვინმე სედრები დაგინდა ზეცის ხელი შევლება სულში ჩადგება სინათლის სვეტი შავი ზღვა თეთრად მოგეჩვენება თუ ვინმე გიღვარს თუ ვინმე სედრები ეგალი ვარდად მოგეჩვენება თუ ვინმე გიღვარს თუ ვინმე სედრები
Thank you, Magnolia. Be sure to check our website for details about our upcoming festival, The Sweetest Song, which starts on April 26th, and they will be part of one of the events that we are planning. So you'll be able to catch them again. This year, we're giving out close to $300,000. I know you figured that out already by adding up the numbers. 165 grants. We had a total of 435 applicants. So 38% of the applicants were funded. Now, for those of us who are in the business of applying for grants, we know that a 38% success rate is rather unusual. So although some people were disappointed, we are really thrilled that that many of you got funded through this program. The program doesn't happen by itself. 435 applications come into our office. We don't have a huge office. There are boxes all over. There are materials all over. And somebody has to figure out what to do with it and how to handle it. We have our seminars, which many of you attend in the summer and early September, trying to help you fill out your application because we feel it's our job to make the panelists work very hard. If it's easy for them, we didn't do a good job of training you. We want to make sure that not only can you be successful with this grant application, but it helps you to fill out others. So we do a lot of work with that. And then they come into the office, and they're sorted, and then we have our panels, and that will be mentioned in a moment. But this takes a lot of work, and there's one person who did this work. She's new to some of you, but not to us, because she's been part of the BAC staff for a number of years. But this is her first year at the helm of the grants program. And I have to tell you that she's done an incredible job. It has been flawless. It has been wonderful. And I know, as I saw some of you greet her tonight, that you've gotten to know her and are thrilled with the help that she gave you. So we want to thank her and also welcome Morgan Takacho. Come on, Morgan.
Yay. Hi, everybody. Look at all of you beautiful people. So this is also the first time that I really get to see you face to face, other than on Facebook or through email. And each year it's always such a treat. Thank you, Ella, for the kind words. And I want to echo her sentiment of gratitude for your work. Although I have been with the organization since 2008, I've grown up with this organization, and I have a tremendous sense of pride standing here tonight. A little more emotional than I thought it was going to be, but we're going to work through it. Working through it. We're good. Today marks many things. We, as we have said, come together to celebrate the arts and culture makers that make this borough so vibrant. Also, it's the first day of spring, which we are so grateful for. I know. And it also does mark for my department a culmination of many months of hard work. I want to thank my predecessor, Ethany Utek, who, she couldn't be here tonight because she's off doing all these amazing things. But I am so grateful that she had the faith in me to pass the torch, and she leaves big shoes to fill. And I hope that I fill them with the fortitude and grace that she did for those 6 years. Thank you. Yeah. I also want to thank Derek Spaldo, who many of you also had the pleasure of connecting with. He served as the department's administrative assistant for this cycle, and his help was indispensable, truly. The work at this department would also not be possible without my BAC colleagues. They have helped guide me through the cycle with not only their faith and encouragement, but also with their gift for stepping in and helping in times when I didn't even really know that I needed that help. You know what I mean? This week has been like, oh, you did that already? Word, thank you. Didn't even know it. So I thank them. I really, really love you guys. The true unsung heroes of this process, however, are the people who make the funding decisions. They're our panelists. So over 65, in 2014, over 65 of NYC's culture makers and ambassadors donated their expertise that culminated in nearly 1,100 hours of donated service. They volunteered 1,100 hours. Like, that blew my mind when I added that up. Amazing. So I would like to invite our panelists, if you are here, to please stand so that we can recognize you. Every of you here, thank you. Indispensable work. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. All right, and now, for those of you who have joined us for ceremony before, you know that here comes the reading of the names. This is really the reason that we're all here, is to recognize our grantees. So much has been said about your invaluable work, all that you give to the borough, to your colleagues, to each other. It's absolutely incredible. But I also want to share with you my personal excitement in working with you this year. You've already, in just the last 2.5 months, helped me learn so much about the significance about what we do and about what this program means to this borough. And I'm so excited to work with you for the next year. So as I read your names, please forgive me for any mispronunciation. Please stand in recognition. I will ask you to stand and wait until the end. I will ask the audience to hold your applause, your bullhorns, your glitter bombs, like whatever else y'all brought. Just hold that till the end, and then we can all acknowledge them at once, okay? And with that, our 2014 Brooklyn Arts Council Community Arts Grants grantees. Adam Freza and Terry Chow. Aisha Cousins, Allison Davis, Allison Preedy, Alphabet Arts, Anna Sperber, Annie Fergus, come on y'all, stand, April Moscas, Artichoke Dance Company, Ballet Folclórico Mexicano de Nueva York, Barbara Cassidy at IS 187, Krista McClough School. Barbara Cothel for Art Share for Heart Share. Batala NYC, Bay Ridge Storefront Arts Walk, Beam Center, Baritha Reddy, Bella Vace Singers, the Brooklyn Accordion Club, Brooklyn Art Incubator, the Brooklyn House of Culture, Brooklyn Symphony Orchestra, Caribbean Cultural Theater, Caroline Vogan Nelson, Nayazul, and Palu Abadia. Yes. Carolyn Butts Schlamenberger. Charlotte Lily Gaspard. Chat Travieso. Chauncey Chester. Chia Ying Cao. Chriselle Tidrick, Above and Beyond Dance. Colloquy Collective. Colt Core. Connection Works. Craig Shepard, Darielle James, Deborah Monlux, Delirious Dances, Adisa Weeks, Elisa Montesinos, Ellie Balk and Nathan Affield at the Green School, Emily Lobsons, Emmy Gay, Eric Alabaster, Falconworks Artists Group, Find and Seek, Fowler Arts Collective, Gabrielle Herbst, Gary Glazner, Grace and Spiritus Chorale of Brooklyn, Grace Drums, Heather Marie Scholl, Heels on Wheels, Henry Koshi Linhart, E.B. Zoboy, Interference Archive, Jack, Jamie Poskin, United Broadcasting Theater Company, Jan Moon, Java, Jeff Newell's New Trad Quartet, and Jeff Newell's New Trad Octet at PS 307, Jen Abrams, Jennifer Wade, Jill Rainier, Joanna Kotze, Jody Wood, KS Jam Dance Troupe, Catherine Tukey, Kila San Batista at Pathways to Graduation at Skimmerhorn, Cowtef School of African Dance, Kristen Arneson, Hilary Krishan, and Ava von Schweint. I'm not sorry. La Troupe Zetwal, Lane Sell, Laura Haddon and Tennessee Watson, Lava Volcano Love, Lizzie Olesker and Lynn Sachs with Wash and Dry Productions, Lizzie LeBlanc at PS 217, the Colonel David Marcus School, Malang Bayo, Marcia Kresge, Friends of Biko Artists, Marguerite Hemmings, Marker 27 Designs, Maxine Hamilton Alexander, Mazarte Dance Company, Metro Chamber Orchestra, Michael Manswell, Michael Piazza at PS 368 at 120 Start Academy, Molly Heron, Mono Noah Ware, Nancy Nowacek, Natalie Paul, Nicole McCostas, Nona Lee Dance Theater Artistic Director Angel Shin, New York Writers Coalition, Off the Page at PS 118, the Maurice Sendak School, Only Child, Appa Feroce, Parachute Literary Arts, Pelin Uze, Persephone DaCosta, PLG Arts, Poets in Unexpected Places, Palibi Seats, Radon Phoenix, Red Light New Music, Regina Opera, Rising Sun Project, Rita Silva, Robert Cangiano, Salute to Youth Project, Brooklyn Chapter of the Lynx, Sandra Taggart, Sarah Nicole Phillips, Sasha Mallon, Scandinavian East Coast Museum, Shoestring Press, Sisters with Purpose, Smith Street Stage, Spellbound Theater, St. Mary's Episcopal Church, Still Waters in a Storm, Catherine Fallu, Stoops, Bed-Stuy, Sunita Prasad, Tamara LaDonna Williams, the Brooklyn Film Shop, the Brooklyn Steppers, the Caribbean Film Academy, the Creators Collective at High School of Telecommunication Arts and Technology, the Evangeline Theater, the Writers Studio KW, the Three Pianos, Tomato House, Tony Whitfield, Turquoise Dyson, Tracy and Darren Person, Two Sides Sounding, TWW and Something Positive, Victor Cyrilson, Vung Kupak, Waterfront Museum, Whole Lotta Productions, Williamsburg Art Nexus, Women Writers in Bloom Poetry Salon, J.P. Howard, Workspace Collective, World Up, and last but certainly not least, Yasmin Mystery. Everyone, please join me in.
I want you to take a moment after we're finished, which will be very shortly, and you go to the community room to get your checks, to also go and say hello to the Metro Plus people. They do have this lovely bag that has a few things in it that I think you might like. I certainly think it's lovely. But more importantly, you're going to get information about the Affordable Care Act and health insurance options under the new law. Now, you may know that the enrollment period ends March 31st, around the corner. So please take a moment or two to talk to them. They want to meet with you. They're prepared to discuss things, and we are just thrilled to have them as a partner tonight. So thank you so, so very much. In addition, Peter Eskenazi, Vice President of our Board of Directors, is a sponsor tonight. And you know, we talk about the borough, and the borough president mentioned it as well as I have, that we work all over the borough, and you come from all over the borough. Well, at the reception tonight, we're going to see another example of BAC all over the borough, because you are going to enjoy tonight beautiful food and beverage coming from Chef Isra Gordon and Delicious Endings Catering, who recently opened a tea house in Flatbush at the Flatbush Caton Market. Then we have Lagunitas Brewery Company. They're distributed by Union Beer in Greenpoint. Lesky's Bakery has provided us with this beautiful sheet cake. They're from Bay Ridge. Lilac Chocolates are here, and they come from Sunset Park. Waterfront Wines are here, and they come from Brooklyn Heights. So not only do you represent the borough, but the people who support us do. And so we are very grateful to them for helping to make this party a success. For those of you who are here to collect your awards, you'll go down one flight. You can pick them up in the community room. They are arranged together, so if you have 2 awards, it's 1 envelope. But you can also have a bit of food and drink and then get your check. So decide how you want to do it so that you're not all on one line or the other. During the reception, because art again is part of this, eating is art, but music is art, we're going to be hearing the Catahoula Cajun Band playing the toe-tapping music.